Hey, how are you? This is Steve Fahey from the Wine Library. I'm one of the buyers here. Thank you so very much for tuning into today's episode for what I consider truly one of the great discoveries in southern France. I'm talking to you about a particular winery called Clos Marie. Now, Clos Marie, this is their 2011 Cuvée Simon. La Revue de Vin in France actually named this as the #1 reference point winery from Pic Saint-Loup. This is a place that actually Christophe Péroux took the vine control over from his family back in the early 90s, planted his vineyards in limestone-rich soil, met up with some great winemakers, some of the most famous in all of France, Dagenot, Rostaing, and a number of others, Clos Réjord, and basically learned from them how are they making wines that are timeless. This is a timeless beauty. Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre is the blend, 20 to 25-year-old vines, like I said, limestone-rich soils. That's only kind of the beginning of the story. This particular producer makes wines in much the same way that has made Dujac famous, DRC famous, Rostaing from Côte Rôtie famous. He uses many techniques that are made by the masters, minimal sulfur use, minimal use of oak, but the most significant of all, and actually the most trickiest, is whole cluster fermentation. Whole cluster fermentation is something where you take the vines, you take the grapes, hand cut them off of the vines. They must be kept intact, they must be phenologically ripe, they must be perfectly healthy. He drops them in the vat, he places them in the vat very carefully, and they start to have intracellular grape fermentation within the grape as well as fermentation outside the grape. This adds, when done right, this adds a level of savory quality that you cannot touch with regular traditional, fermentation practices where they crush the grapes, etc., strip the grapes off the actual stems. This adds a level of outrageous, riveting clarity and precision and brightness of fruit that I think elevates this wine to a much higher level. At the pricing that you're getting this for, this is a joke of a deal because the quality is just outrageous. If you're a fan of French reds, particularly if you're a fan of southern French reds, this is a wine to absolutely grab with both hands. So I'm going to do a little quick tasting note for you. On the nose, I mean, you get everything on the. I have some props here. These are props. I have these flowers here not because they make me look better looking, but because they actually, you get rose on this, you get lilies, you get snapdragons, you get a floral component on this that's actually complemented by like spice. That's a beautiful thing. Herbe de Provence is all throughout this. This is actually grown right in the mountains. The elevation on these vineyards are really high. So you're getting all kinds of lavender, bay leaf, laurel. Like I said, Herbe de Provence all throughout this. God, this has actually been open for a day. And it actually tastes better today than it did yesterday. Not that it wasn't seismic yesterday, but it is a completely different animal and growing on me right now by the minute. On the palate, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, dried and fresh. There's an earthy, slaty, mineral element to it that basically pulls everything together. But the reason why I slammed my hand on the table is because there's a verticality to this wine that you don't get in 99% of other wines. Definitely not at this price. This is a very special production. 2011 Cuvée Simon, or Simon, if you're American, Clos Marie. Don't let this one get away. This is very special. Drinking now, this can age easily for another 5 to 8 years, easily. And probably some people will argue longer than that. If you're a fan of Southern French Reds or any kind of red, you should definitely check this out. To steal. Cheers.